Leonardo Boff, a wise Brazilian writer, once shared a beautiful insight. Everyone wants to grow up in the world. Every child wants to be a man. Every man wants to be a king. Every king wants to be God. Only God wants to be a child. This wonderful thought captures the essence of Christmas, transcending it beyond a mere historical celebration. It's not just about the birth of another great person in history, but about a God who personally cares for each of us and desires a relationship with us. Christmas marks the moment when the divine becomes human, giving hope a tangible form and a specific name. It's not just a wish or an illusion, it's an event that changes the course of history. In the fullness of time, the Word became flesh and came to dwell among us, and to all who received Him, to all who believed in His name, He gave the right to become children of God. In the ancient myth of Prometheus, a compassionate guardian of mankind, he defied the gods to bring fire and knowledge to empower powerless humans. However, facing the wrath of Zeus, Prometheus was punished by being chained to a cliff and thrown into Tartarus. Look across various cultures. Similar stories unfold, emphasizing the negative consequences of humans attempting to steal divine knowledge. Fast forward to today, in response to our struggles to grasp such wisdom, God intervenes, offering eternal wisdom through His Son. The profound statement, "The flesh of Christ is the hinge of our salvation," underscores God's belief that redemption and fullness can only be achieved through physical reality. Pope Benedict XVI eloquently captures this truth, saying, "No matter how low man may fall, it's never too low for God." This sentiment encapsulates the essence of Christmas, an affirmation that God cares deeply for each of us, desires a personal relationship, and genuinely takes interest in our lives. See, Christmas is not just a celebration of a distant deity. It's a divine act where the Word becomes human and God walks among us, presenting precious gifts that everyone seeks: light, joy, and peace. However, life is a mixture of ups and downs. There are times when we suddenly find ourselves alone, surrounded by an overwhelming darkness that seems to envelop everything. It's in these challenging moments that we need to draw upon the inner light that has been planted within us. As the saying goes, it's in our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Think of it as a candle in the wind. In moments of tenderness, the flame burns brightly, giving off a warm glow. When we are alone in the dark, that same flame becomes a beacon, guiding us and giving us the courage to move forward. Look, this year's Christmas finds us in a world full of wars and problems, where people are hurt and dying, where the consequences of wars seem to be knocking at the doors of our humanity. But in the midst of this darkness, Jesus is born again and offers the light of hope. Again, the Creator becomes incarnate in a world so devoid of humanity. This mystery calls us to reflect on our ability to welcome the divine even in the most difficult situations. This Christmas invites us to question our readiness to welcome here and now, to open our hearts to universal brotherhood. This Christmas will be truly special if we learn to look where others often ignore, especially when people choose not to pay attention. And also when we find ourselves in situations that make us feel ashamed or guilty, it is in those moments that God is closer to us than ever. Despite our tendency to ignore God's presence, Christmas reminds us that we cannot truly live without Him. Let God be great in you, says a wise German mystic. Our human vocation, I believe, is to become more and more human, to let the divine grow in us, just like Mary, who allowed God to be great in her, so much so that He became present in the world. What is Christmas for us, if not this renewed awareness of becoming more and more one with the divinity that dwells in us, and thus able to make God present in the world, to embody God? To celebrate Christmas is to be reborn, to come more and more into the light of ourselves. It signifies our journey to become complete human beings, to fulfill our unique existential mission, to become like God, become human. This aspiration corresponds to the sentiments expressed by Saint Elizabeth of the Trinity, who wrote, "It seems to me that I have found my heaven on earth, for heaven is God and God is in my soul." The day I understood this, everything was illuminated. Thus, the essence of Christmas lies in this profound realization: to allow the divine to grow within us, to be continually reborn, and to illuminate our existence with the presence of God.